Greetings, Losties. We've just watched episode 9. May I say to you, Namaste. This is the official fan show for Lost on Sky One. Come over here, this is where the fun begins. Paul Terry, the editor of the official Lost magazine. Not seen you for 2 weeks. Paul, how are you?
It's been a while, I'm good.
Yeah?
I'm very good after that episode.
It was an exciting episode.
Very good, very
Hold
good.
on a second, come over here, look at this. It's Geeky Tom.
Hey.
Yeah?
Hey!
Yeah? Yeah. Nice. So, let's talk about the episode. I thought it was a very, very exciting episode.
Yeah, I kind of still think it's one of those filler ones though, but...
Sorry? Sorry, you think that the episode we've just seen is a filler episode?
It's because you were there when it was being filmed. This
Yes,
is your...
I've got to say, this is the episode that the bit where they come out of the Volkswagen and they go into the recruiting line. I was 10 feet away from them during that scene.
But you can relax now from the $5 million thing. You can
Okay, well let's
chill.
Yeah, exactly. I'm out of contract now. I can talk about stuff. Okay, so I'll talk to you, Paul, because you
right.
recognise this was a great episode. They're back in 1977. Yeah. I've known that for a few months now. Not been able to say that. And Sawyer Sawyer's brilliant, isn't he?
That's the thing.
He thinks on his feet to save Kate, Jack, and Hurley by going, okay, we're going to pretend that there's a new submarine coming in, you're going to be recruitees and stuff like that. And he recruits them into the Dharma Initiative.
Yeah.
One of many signs of genius, I think, from Sawyer.
Well, because he's a thinker, as we saw in the bit with the reading, and I love that monologue when he says to Jack, he basically gives him a massive smackdown.
Yeah. Jack is being humiliated in this episode. He's being bitch slapped.
I like that.
Where he gets given the workman uniform. Yeah, I'm really clever. Yeah, no, from the test you filled in.
Well, no, it's blatantly Sawyer that's filled in.
That's what I was
for
going to
him,
say.
yeah. He's literally gone, I know what I'll give Jack. The worst job on the island.
And he's genuinely humiliated by that, isn't he?
But would Sawyer do that deliberately?
Yes, of course he would.
Well, he seems a bit more sort of, he's mature and he's level-headed.
Oh, well, okay. Well, let's talk about the slap down at the end of the episode then between Jack and Sawyer, because Sawyer has obviously had this building in him for a long time. Yeah. There's a couple of things. I think the thing is that now he's with Juliet, who was Jack's...
Well, kind of, yeah.
Well, no, she was. So there's that kind of she's mine kind of thing. But also he's had 3 years to ruminate about where Jack has gone wrong, and he's quite open in his attack.
Yeah.
People have died because of you being headstrong.
Absolutely, and also on the Juliet thing, thinking about it, Juliet was more into Jack very openly, very honestly than Jack was into her. If you remember that whole thing about her kissing Jack and going, well, that kind of that resolves it already. You've still got feelings for Kate, and I'll deal with that. So I think Sawyer was really protective of her because of all that as well.
Yeah.
So
got a post on the forum from Ben Linus is a good guy. Has Jack? Now this is interesting. Yes, I spotted this when I saw them filming it just before Christmas.
Right.
Saw them filming this scene as well. Has Jack just dropped them all in it when he asked for James LaFleur's house? The way the other guy looked at him like he'd clocked something as Jack walked towards Sawyer's house. He did give him a funny look, that guy.
Has Sawyer actually told everybody his first name? Do you reckon he just...
Yeah, some of them call him Jim. Yeah.
So they do call him Jim.
Yeah, so that's...
But they all called
right,
him Jim, so yeah.
There's got to be something in that name then.
Well, I just think it's the fact that he's being Jack's been there less than 12 hours or so, and he's asking too many questions, and he's going to visit one of the boss's houses.
That guy did the whole evil face like that.
That's old Steptoe, isn't it?
It's like your Steptoe.
Standard drama kind of baddie.
I think it's called acting, Tom.
Do we think that Jack has sown the seeds of doubt in this guy's head and he's dropped them all in it?
Yeah, because it's too much, too soon.
Oh, by the way, this is very exciting. Our exclusive interviews with Damon Lindelof, Carlton Cuse, Evangeline Lilly, Matthew Fox, and Michael Emerson. Them's the big people. Are all now online at sky.com/lost, as well as loads of other brilliant Lost pictures and articles. Probably some pictures of us as well. So, well worth having a look. Back to episode 9, and the Grid 325 motion sensor is tripped. Are hostiles in the perimeter? It's Saeed! So Jin's got the gun at him. Don't move!
Yeah, that's amazing.
If I was Jin though, you'd have smacked him in the back of the head.
We were expecting a bit of
What did Sawyer do to him then?
So I didn't do anything to him.
No, not revenge.
Why is he going to hit him around the head then?
Why not? Put him in his place. Teach him a lesson. Say, look, hey, new regime. We've been here 3 years. This is how things work around this island.
In the 70s, it's more brutal.
It's in the 70s, man. Well, Sawyer's obviously going to get Saeed out of that. But how? It's going to take some. Yeah. It's going to take some play. I mean, he's not. His options are he kills Saeed. Not going to do that.
That's not an option.
Is he going to send him out of the village?
Yeah, he might banish him. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Or he could somehow integrate him and say, "Oh look, the brainwash room."
Oh, room 23.
To the brainwash room 23. As you say,
we've not seen that. Hang on, no, isn't that on the Hydra island?
Oh, nuts! Yeah.
That's a bit of a paddle. It's all right.
Yeah, they can do that. Earlier this year, Sky One ran a competition to win the trip of a lifetime to the Lost Island. I've been there. On our midweek edition, released this Wednesday, we'll catch up with the winners and have a look at their video diary. How exciting! Oh, yes, very excitingly. 1977, we see a young Ben. Now, we knew it was going to be him because they did that thing that all TV shows do where you don't see his face. And that kid looked like him with the bug eyes and he had some of the mannerisms.
Same actor, though, isn't it? From The Man Behind the Curtain.
I think
Season
it is, yeah.
4, 3?
Three, I think. Three.
Yeah. He's great.
Very, very exciting. Now, this means we've got to go back and watch the whole thing when Ben is stuck in the hatch and Saeed's beating the living whatever out of
that
him.
Means his poker face was like amazing.
Because I wonder if there are any references, because okay, Ben obviously knows Saeed when he's getting beaten up by Saeed in 30 years' time.
Yeah.
Are there any references in that episode where Ben sort of goes, "I don't know you, Saeed. We didn't meet 30 years ago," or something? You know, is there anything like that?
I can't remember off. I mean, that would be really detailed stuff, but I think a shout out. I think maybe a rewatch to
a shout out. Challenge. Lost on Sky One at Sky.com. Lost on Sky One at Sky.com. If you want to go and watch those episodes for us, please, dear viewer, and let us know if there are any little knowing winks. That was exciting, seeing the young Ben giving him a sandwich.
No, that was good.
Do you think this could be possibly where Ben gets sort of a respect for the hostiles?
I think it's where he gets all the information from, more than respect.
What information?
Just about all the plane crashy people.
No, he gets that from the computer.
He does say that, doesn't he?
With Mikhail.
He gets that from the computer.
Doesn't he meet them all though? Anyway.
But what time frame
if he knows them all and grows up with them, he's going to know them more than he's going to get the information from a computer.
This ties in though with the thing I mentioned a few weeks ago, where Mikhail says, "You can't be the John Locke I know because he was."
Like that.
So there's obviously Mikhail hasn't popped up yet. I assumed that Faraday was going to be.
Where the hell's Faraday? Time travel. Where's Faraday? Come on, what's happened? What's the paradox that occurred?
Maybe he's gone off in time again in a little time adventure. I'm kind of thinking the explosion in the orchid may have happened. You know where the wheel is?
Yeah.
Right.
So you're saying what? And he's dead?
No, I think he sent himself through time again. Maybe.
If you think you can talk more sense than we are talking today, send us an email to lostonsky1@sky.com. You can join the discussion there, or you can hang out with us on Bebo, Facebook, Twitter, and indeed the MySpace. Ben's trip to the other island doesn't go to plan. He gets smacked around. That was sexy, wasn't it, when Son smacked him with an oar.
Good son.
Knocked him out. Yeah. Why does she knock him out, though?
Yeah, but she's well schooled in the whole art of being duplicitous.
Just needed the information out of him.
She's quite a nasty little two-faced little madam, isn't she?
Loving it.
Yeah,
loving it. Yeah, she's got it all sewn up.
Sexy. Why? There's a few things that make sense. Firstly, we're assuming that Ben is in the boat when they go to the other thing. We don't know that for sure. That's one of those.
I don't reckon so. I reckon they left him on the island.
But this is the Ben scene we were talking about, wasn't it? When we saw in the other episode, Locke sees Ben prone, unconscious, and we're trying to work out when
that happened.
Yeah, exactly.
So does that happen?
Where we get to that point? So it's a Ben.
Does that happen immediately after the crash, or is it after he gets smacked in the head with the oar?
I think it was after.
I think it was at night.
Yeah.
When Locke appears.
What I don't get is why Son, Lapinus, and Ben haven't gone back to 1977.
That's the big one, isn't it? Like what? Because Son was one of the Oceanic Six and did leave with Saeed, Jack, rah. So, in the warping kind of theory, I thought that she would have been sucked into the same time zone as they were because she was part of the Oceanic Six and she left, so she wasn't.
Is it? Well, so many theories.
Didn't Mrs. Faraday say that it's not an exact science, time travel? So.
It's just a random.
It's pretty random. Yeah.
No, it's got to be more to it than that.
No.
Yeah, I think it's got to do with the pureness of her heart.
Oh God.
What? This is a good one, right? Because she's not there with pure intention. She's there double-crossing and backstabbing everybody because all she wants is gin. We think she made.
So how evil you are determines what time period that you enter the island.
Put very in a childlike way, yes. Yes.
What about Saeed then? What Saeed's shtick? As in, he's a good guy. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Rubbish.
A really
It's
rubbish.
not rubbish.
That's rubbish.
Christian Shepherd. I'm getting a bit bored of Christian Shepherd popping up now. He's like he's kind of. He is a bit. It's a bit.
This is a bit housey.
This is a bit confusing. Let's get Christian Shepherd in and his bit of exposition here. He'll kind of move it along a little bit.
But it reminds us. We haven't seen Claire for a while. And Claire was with Christian Shepherd, so
What does he do? He's like a time ghost or something that just appears.
We heard
and
the
goes.
whispers. We heard the whispers again.
Yeah.
Haven't heard that
In
for
the
a while.
whispers, could they just be an echo from the past?
I think you said that a while ago, Steve.
Like from like
Yeah.
what?
What's an echo from the big?
We saw the processing point or whatever it was,
Right.
and then we heard the. And could that be Jin and whatever talking? Could that be Jin and Sawyer having a little chitty chat? And that just comes through because here we go. Because time is like a bit of string that's stretched out, but when you sort of fold it, they run near each other, so you can hear a little echo going across.
Let me take you back to the first season of Lost.
Please do, Tom.
When we used to. Didn't we used to pause all these whispers and slow them down and
we did.
Just get transcripts? And it wasn't Jin. It was like random women saying, "How can he see us? Can they see?" It was all that stuff.
No, but there was that
remember
awesome
it?
bit where we analysed it. It was season 3, wasn't it? We analysed the
yeah.
whispers on the old radio show thing, and it was really clear. You could actually hear,
And it wasn't
dialogue.
Jin. So you're wrong. So there.
Well, I'm not saying they're all Jin, Tom. I'm saying that possibly the one that they heard today was. There was a bloke's voice in there. Probably. The photograph was a nice touch.
Very nice.
Where is he? 1975, 76. Here he is, 1977 with his chums. Something like that, wasn't he?
It was good.
And that was a nice touch, and nice that we saw the photo. I saw them filming the photo scene. I was sat under a tree eating an apple when they filmed that in Hawaii. Yeah, it was wicked. You've got a long journey ahead of you. You've got to go to 1977. I'm assuming she's going to go back in time, or does she have to do something in 2007, 2008, whenever it is, that links them up so that they can cross over to the future?
That's surely it. There's some kind of time realignment.
Why
thing,
can't she just go and push the donkey wheel? That's how most people travel in time, isn't it?
Okay, Tom. Yeah, let's wait for the sun donkey wheel moment. Yeah. So.
Barracks all smashed up, of course, from the smoke monster, wasn't it? I think that was from the end of season 4 with the smoke
Didn't we hear
monster.
a little sort of?
There was a tinkle. There was a little tinkle.
And it shook a tree as well.
Someone had a tinkle.
A bit of residue.
Forum post from Kip. Why were Sun, Frank, Locke and Ben all excluded from travelling back in time with the rest of the group? I feel like it might have something to do with them already being on the island in the past. Young Ben was, and perhaps Pierre Chang's baby might be Sun. Well, we know that's... No, we don't know what Pierre Chang's baby is.
That's still.
I think we bet a chocolate bar over it, didn't we? Because you were absolutely positively sure it was somebody that...
Yes, it's Miles.
It plainly wasn't.
Miles.
Oh no, there was something ridiculous.
No, it's Miles. That baby's Miles. A bit of a long shot, going back to Kip's post here, a bit of a long shot considering Frank and Locke would have to be there too, but I'm curious nonetheless. Can you help work this one out? Yeah, I can, Kip. It's a rubbish idea. It's that one. We think that's a bit harsh, but Kip's theory is they can't go back to 77 because they're already there somehow.
I think that could be true. Better than some of the stuff you've come out with.
I think it has to be. Yeah, it has to be.
Ideas,
it can't be random. It can't be.
When I turn my back to you, it means be silent.
It can't be random. It's got. Yeah, it feels like it has to be there's some kind of rule that's attached to it. It can't just be.
It's not random on the brand, definitely.
Just you go there, you go there.
Yeah.
You go there, you go
it's
there.
Impression of Tom, because it's good. Well, it's like a tense edition today.
Very Namaste, is it really?
Hope you've enjoyed it. Our midweek edition is released this Wednesday at sky.com/lost. We're going to talk more about Sun's motives and the young Ben Linus. We're going to catch up with the winners. I'm very envious of this. Catch up with the winners of the Sky One competition and see their Lost Island video diary, plus more of your emails, questions, and the best of your theories. Join us on Wednesday. Until then, Namaste.
Let's never have a break again.
I've forgotten how to talk about this programme.